Welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I'm bringing to you 5 strikers Walsall could potentially sign going into this summer transfer window. I think we made some decent strides in the summer transfer window so far. We brought in a right wing back, which we needed to. First signing, Connor Barrett, decent signing that is. You know, Tommy Sinkins coming in between the net, even if it's on loan, he's going to be a good goalkeeper, I believe, for Walsall. So now we've got to look into the attacking line, haven't we? It was clear last season we couldn't get a consistent partnership in the front two that we're going to get, you know, goals for us really, especially in the second half of the season. So it's an area of weakness and focus, and we've got to get in some real top goal scorers, top strikers that are going to get us the goals going into next season. So yeah, let's get into the video. So the first name I'm going to bring to you is an experienced striker playing in League 2 last season, currently a free agent. So Matt Smith could be a player Walsall could be looking at. Obviously, there's the downsides of him at the moment. You know, he's 35 years old, he's aging, he isn't getting any younger, and he's probably coming to his latter stages of his career. And you would argue we have got a similar age profile, haven't we, with a current player, Jamil Matt. I think he's around 34. So we do need to bring the age profile down in the strikers. I do agree with that. But if he's available on a 1-year deal potentially, and he was willing to come to us, I think it wouldn't be a bad signing. He knows where the back of the net is. I think even when you get older, you might lose your fitness, you might lose that yard or two of pace, but you're never going to lose that skill of putting the ball in the back of the net, and he's guaranteed to do that personally. Matt Smith, 25 goals for Salford last season. They struggled in the league. I think they finished around 20th in the end, and I think it wouldn't be a bad option for us if it was, like I said, on a 1-year deal. He's really good in the air. Something that we haven't really got in our striking line. Dominant in the air, wins most of his aerial duels, and I think if you put a ball into the box, 9 times out of 10 he's winning it and putting it in the back of net, which we saw last season. So on a 1-year deal, if this one was available, wouldn't be a bad option for Walsall. The next player I've identified, I've mentioned him before, it is Kabango Tshimanga from Peterborough United. He's had some great success in the National League in his career. He's 26 years old, and he'll be a player that will still be looking to kick on in the EFL. If we go through his National League record, from the 2019-20 season, I think he scored 22 goals in that season. Season after for Boreham Wood as well, 27 goals. Then he got a move to Chesterfield, where he netted 25 goals in 31 games, which is a brilliant return. It hasn't quite worked for him since then. I think he got moved to Peterborough. Hasn't got regular game time there. I think he picked up a bad injury. He hasn't really recovered from that yet, but there is signs there's still a player there. Scored 7 goals in 16 games for Boreham Wood on loan last season. Tried to help them start, but unfortunately for them they got relegated. But if you look at his goals, he's really good in the box. You know, he's a good goal scorer. I know we've already got a poacher in Danny Johnson, but we didn't utilise him well last season, so still question marks if he's going to get regular game time next season. Fingers crossed he does, because I still think he's a brilliant League 2 striker. But having another option like Kabango Tshimanga would be a really good one for Walsall. I think he has been transfer listed from Peterborough United, so this one could be a possibility for a League 2 side or a National League side. And like I said, he would add quality into the forward line. Really good finishes in the box, and he's a deadly striker. Next player I've got down is Josh Stones from Oldham Athletic. The 20-year-old had a successful spell, even though it was 4 games on loan at Oldham last season, where he scored 3 goals in 4 games. Unfortunately for him, I think he got injured, and then obviously Wigan recalled him back for his rehab and programme. But obviously this season he'll be looking to kick on going into the next campaign now, wherever his future lies. He may be a regular start at Wigan, but what I've watched of him and the clips I've watched of him, he's a very similar striker to Freddie Drape, who we had on loan last season. And that's another thing I question on this. Would he be available on a loan, or would he be available for a fee? Obviously you want to get players in on a fee, but sometimes to bring in some decent strikers you might have to look into loaning them. I know we've had a bit of unfortunate situation with strikers. Obviously Freddie Draper last season, Danny Johnson the season before, but hopefully we can keep a good loan strike for the rest of the season. Like I said, I'm not too sure if he'll be available on a loan, or we could maybe go out and buy him potentially, but I'd probably lean towards a loan move with this one. But he looks like a really good striker, an all-round striker, a bit of a throwback striker as well. He's a bit of a robust striker up there, but he's got that pace in behind as well. Good movement in the box. Really, like I said, a really powerful and strong, athletic striker that, you know, he's very much, like I said, reminds me of Freddie Draper, you know, the way he's built and the way he plays as well. So, yeah, I think this one could be a good possibility for Walsall, even if it's on loan. I think he would add, you know, quality into our forward line. I think a really promising player at the moment, and would be a good one on loan potentially, is Deshawn from Derby County. I think he had an excellent loan spell with Gateshead in the second half of last season, 9 goals in 22 appearances. Then in the first half of the season, he was at Derby County in the Premier League too, really impressing, catching the eye of manager Paul Warne there. But I think this one could be a potential one on loan for any League 2 side or even a League 1 side. I think Derby, obviously getting promoted to the Championship, might not be ready for that yet. So maybe a full loan spell in the EFL to get him with that experience could be a really handy one for the club and for himself. Obviously, Derby brought in some experienced strikers as well. Jerry Yates has come in alongside, you know, you've got James Collins there as well. So I think a loan spell to get regular game time would be a good one for him. And I think he's a really exciting player. I think he's a really quick striker to have. One obviously Walsall haven't really got. We've got strikers that just want it into their feet or in the box really. I think he can get on the ball, he can drive at defenders. He's one of them players that gets you on the edge of the seats from what the clips I've seen of him. He looks a really exciting player and one Walsall should be looking at on loan. I think with teams in the Premier League and the Championship, they don't seem to recall players, only with necessary injuries maybe, but if we could guarantee getting him for a full season on loan, I think it would be an excellent bit of business. I think he's going to be a really promising player for Derby. I think he'll be part of the first team plans in the future, and if we could get him on loan, I think would be a solid addition. Final one, and I'd be really impressed if we can get this one. Another player from Peterborough actually, Jacob Wakeling, is one that I'd be happy if we could get this one in. I don't think it's quite worked out for him at Peterborough. He's had a few injuries there and hasn't had regular game time joining them a couple of seasons ago. And in his first season at Swindon, I think he really impressed me. I think he got 8 goals and 6 assists, which is not bad for his first season in the EFL, playing regular game time. And I think a move where he's guaranteed regular game time now is where he needs to be really. He's 22 years old. He needs to be really kicking on in his career, and I think Walsall would be a good move for him. I think he's full of energy as well. I think that obviously will suit Matt Sadler's style. He likes high pressing strikers, one's full of pace and energy, so would suit the system. I think he's from Redditch as well, so would be a move closer back to home. Might feel a little bit more comfortable with that. But one, I think, would be one Walsall would be suited to really. He's one that, you know, hasn't quite proved himself consistently yet, but he has showed signs of promise and potential that he could do. And one Walsall, if we could bring in and develop, he could be a real key player for us. And obviously, like I said, we've got to try and bring that age profile down in the strikers. Obviously, we've got Josh Gordon, 29 years old, Danny Johnson, 31, Jamil Matt, who's 34. So if we can try and bring in some younger strikers now who offer you something different, you know, a bit more pace about them, a little bit more energy, get defenders on the back foot, I think that's what Walsall have got to be targeting, and I think Jacob Wakeling would suit that. So there you have it. I've identified 5 strikers Walsall could potentially sign this summer transfer window. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, it's a big position Walsall have got to get right this summer transfer window to really kick on up the league now. It's a really important season for Walsall. That one, we've got to be minimum getting the playoffs. If not, we've got to get the promotion this season. So fingers crossed we get some quality strikers in. So thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave in the comments your thoughts on my suggestions, and any more suggestions, just leave them down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.